Hey guys, it's Ash. I know you haven't seen me in, I don't know, like fucking 2 months. Every single time I get into the groove of posting, I'm like, actually, you're gonna see me post all the time, and I have so many ideas, which is true. The amount of ideas I have for this channel is like astronomical, like truly, the list is so fucking long, it's ridiculous, and this is a really fun creative outlet for me. But anytime I get going, I always end up in like, oh my god, I'm gonna do this big video, and then I don't finish it, and then it gets put on the back burner, basically. So instead of stressing myself out and putting pressure on myself to release that right away, because I'm pretty sure I hit a particular subscriber goal recently that I was really excited about. I don't remember. Anyway, thanks to all the new people who subscribed. It's really cool to see that other people are interested in the stupid shit that I get up to. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ash. I'm a comic book artist. Small comic book artist. Crochet, fiber artist, DIYer, fucking nerd guy on the internet, who just likes to talk into the void and use this account primarily as like digital journaling / archival videos of myself doing stuff and making stuff, because I think that's kind of cool. And I like when people use YouTube as like a digital journal, so that's kind of how I've been utilizing it, with obviously like sometimes I'm making tutorials or videos of me drawing or whatever the fuck. I know people have like a pretty vague impression of me as an artist on here because I haven't done a lot of art videos. My big video to mark the subscriber landmark that I got into is actually going to be an art video. I just have to refilm it, which when you actually see it come out, you're gonna be like, why did you refilm it? It's because the original one I did, we'll say it didn't go as planned, and then I had some shit come up, and then whatever. Anyway, basically this long intro is just to say I haven't caught up with you guys in a while. I felt like putting a video out. I'm fucking bored. I have like 4 hours to kill. I'm just gonna film this, edit it kind of shittily. Low maintenance, low effort, and then I'm gonna post it. Yippee! That's gonna be the vibe. So yeah, welcome to my here's what's going on with my life and why I haven't been around, and I have really exciting things to share with you, and I like can't talk about some of it, but I want to, so here we are. First things first, part of the reason why I haven't been, I'm sorry, I'm like fucking with this pen. Part of the reason why I have not been posting online is because I am doing some super part-time, once every couple months weird job that I can actually talk about. I've been working with Essential Sequential at their conventions as an artist handler for the past couple months, since Dallas Fan Expo in June, I believe. Which basically means that every so often when they have a convention and they need people, they'll fly me out and I will help work the convention with the owners, Jason and Morag, aka Mo. Jason and Mo are two of the loveliest people I've ever worked with. They're very nice, and I feel very blessed that they have let me on to their team, kind of. I'm like not officially on the team, but I work conventions whenever they need me. I might be doing New York Comic Con this year, still have to hear back on that one. Point is that I have been a little busy with that. It's like maybe once a month, once every 2 months, they're like, hey man, we're having a con, do you want to come out and help? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Because it's always a good time. As much as I can get, it's like, at times it's like retail on steroids, other times it's like, depending on the convention, but this is very unlikely, mostly because the artists that Essential manages are not exactly nobodies. The last con I went to, which was in California, San Jose, it was GalaxyCon. It's a first year convention, so it was like pretty dead. So that was kind of a bust, but Dallas Fan Expo, which was the first con I went to, was actually insane. It was like retail on steroids, but it was also a really good experience. And getting to like talk to the artists and watch them draw and hang out, kind of. I mean, I was on the clock, but it was like, you know, you're like talking with them in between. It's a good time. It's a good experience, especially for someone who like really admires these people. Like at Dallas Fan Expo, I was paired with David Finch. Super down to earth guy. I don't think I've interacted with an artist doing these cons that I've had any issues with. They're like genuinely super nice fucking people who've got a good head on their shoulders and common sense and decency. And David is definitely one of them. His friend, this is gonna make me look really fucking bad because Eric. Okay, I was like, please tell me I didn't forget his name. It's Eric. I know it starts with an E. I always think Ethan. It's not Ethan, it's Eric, who is on his live streams a lot. Was there too. I was talking to him about a gouache commission, or it wasn't gouache. I thought it was gouache. It was liquid acrylic. I was watching him paint a rogue and gambit for a commission. They did like a dual commission, so Dave did a gambit, and then Eric did a rogue and gambit painting. That was so cool. I wish I snapped a picture of it before they sent it off. It was really fucking cool. Eric was a super nice guy. We just kind of chilled, hung out and stuff. And so the way the table was set up, it was like on my left to where I was working. At the very end of the table was Dave and Eric. So I was working that part of the table. On my right, seated on the other side of me with the other essential sequential people, which my boyfriend was paired with to do, like, handle the money and stuff, was Klaus Jansen. Klaus, can I just say this? Klaus is like the funniest motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life. That man is getting up there in age. He's not exactly a spring chicken, but he is very funny, and I appreciate him to an unbelievable amount. I love him so dearly. He's an incredible person, so sweet, so considerate. There was a student of his that actually, or I guess like an ex-student because he doesn't teach anymore, and also this guy was like probably in his 30s, maybe a little younger than that, maybe a little older, but he walked up to the table with what I assumed to be his girlfriend / partner. And he was like, "Hi, Klaus." Klaus immediately recognized him. He was like, "Oh my god, how have you been? Blah, blah, blah." And they immediately got to chatting. He was like, "How's your art?" I was like, it was so sweet for him to, because, I mean, look, Klaus, he's retired now. He's retired, I think, in the last, 2 years, but he used to teach at SVA, which is a very well-known private art school in New York City, and he's taught a lot of people. He taught there for a very long time, so for him to remember one of his students is that's really sweet. I got to watch Dave do a couple commissions. That was one of the biggest highlights of the trip, is just watching him draw for fucking 8 hours a day. Bro was he did a blank sketch cover that was like a Joker. I have a picture of it, actually. Let's see if I can throw it up on screen. But watching him do the pencils and then the inks, it's one of the coolest parts of the job is, as an artist myself, I have a certain process that I go through when I'm doing it. I'm thinking in my brain as I do my pencils, and if you really know what you're doing, or if you have kind of a decent idea of how art works and how art processes are, when you're watching someone do their pencils, you can kind of see them thinking as they're drawing. And so getting to watch Dave do his pencils, I was like, oh my god, I can see the cogs, I can see where his thoughts, it's a little creepy. For example, when we were at GalaxyCon, again, the con was fucking dead for and which makes sense. It was a first year con. The people at GalaxyCon were so nice. Shout out Mark. Invite us back next year. That con was, as much as it was pretty empty for the most part, it was still a good convention, and I was paired with Mindy Lee and Carrie Nord, who I believe Dave has had on his channel for a painting stream once upon a time. I don't remember, I haven't seen it, but I swear I saw it on his channel somewhere. I could be wrong. Anyway, so I was paired with Mindy was pretty busy most of the day, and she was also working. She has a Harley Quinn book releasing this October, so she was working on some pages for that, so I didn't want to bug her too much. So me and Carrie got to talking quite a bit, especially since it was pretty dead. He worked on a lot of commissions that weekend. It was so cool watching him draw, and at some point he was doing a Doom I can't remember if it was a blank sketch cover, it was just like a headshot, but I was watching him do this doom face, and he did something I'd never seen before, which I'm assuming is like a very old school technique, because I asked Arthur Adams, who was also there with us, about it. I was like, Arthur, like, do you know what this is? Like, I've never, because I didn't want to bother Carrie while he was doing it, so we were talking about it like after the fact, because Arthur had to stay late for like at least 2 days of the con to finish commissions. So me and him and my friend Tori were all like hanging out and talking while he was finishing these up, and I was like, it's so cool watching Carrie draw, because like I can see him thinking when he's doing his pencils, and like his process is so different from mine and like other people that I've seen. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, when he was drawing this doom head, he did this like weird grid that I'd never seen before. Like, sure, I've seen people use like guidelines to do faces, your basic like eye line, nose line, mouth line, maybe like a little bit of like a little oval for the head, general head shape, some general markers for like facial feature placement. But he spent like, I think like 10 minutes ruling out this grid. And the way that he used the grid is that he used like 2 intersecting, this is not, hopefully maybe I'll like draw like a random, maybe I'll find an image of it and you'll know what I'm saying. But at 2 of the intersecting points, he put the very tiny iris. He used it as like iris marking points, and that was like how he built the face. And I was like, I've never seen that before. We were talking about like art school and stuff, because, you know, I'm an art school dropout. And we were talking, I was like, oh, did you go to art school? And he was like, yeah, but they flunked me. And I was like, oh my god. So we kind of bonded over that. And he was like, it's fucked up because they list me as one of their alums now, even though they flunked me out. And I was like, that's kind of shitty. Like, they didn't even give you a degree and they're like listing you. That's like really kind of sketchy way to market your school. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's cool asking the artists about like how they broke in, especially because the way comics is now, it's like so different. You have a lot, because of like the internet, there's like a bigger access to the comics world in America versus like 20-30 years ago, when like you had to go to a convention to talk to an editor to get your portfolio looked at, and now like editors scout people on like Instagram or whatever. Not that that's very common, but it does happen. And you also have like the international community getting involved more, which I think is really cool. So you have a lot of artists from like Latin America, like Dan Mora, Jorge Jimenez, and like these classically trained motherfuckers from Europe. So we were talking about that a bit, and he was like, yeah, back when I was breaking in, it was still mail-in. I was like, oh my god. Like, I can't even picture that now. Like, I always forget that was like a thing in the 90s, is you would just mail your samples in, and they'd be like, you're hired, or go fucking back to the drawing board because you suck. I mean, they weren't that unprofessional, but like, you know what I'm saying. But Carrie was like, yeah, I mailed in my submissions. And, you know, like, having heard all these people talk about how hard it was to get hired, I was like, so how many attempts? And he looks at me and he goes, I don't want to tell you. I was like, I want to know. And he was like, it took me 1 try. I think I lost a bit of my will to live. I was like, really? It's like, yeah, just 1 shot. They were like, it's okay. He says he looks back at his samples that he sent in and he thinks they're really bad and he wouldn't get in by today's standards. But at the time, it took him 1 shot. And to be fair, he's a very good artist. Like, watching him paint and looking at his pages, that's another cool perk, getting to see originals up close and personal. I was like looking through his portfolio. He had a couple pages that he had rendered in marker, like Prismacolor marker. I was like, it looked like watercolor. I had to ask him what it was. He said it reproduced terribly, but the originals look incredible. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, what is this? He's like, oh yeah, this is markers. I was gagged. Especially when I was in art school, I had a professor, Bob Hardin, who used to get on us. He's like, markers are only for commissions and layouts / comps, not for finished work. It's for finished artwork. He was like, not about that, which he had every right to say that. Dude was making posters for Metallica and junk. Like, he knew what he was talking about. But like, it was funny because it looked painted. It looked so beautiful. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And the more I was looking at his like fully rendered, like more painterly artwork, the more I was like, oh my god, he's very much like in that Olivier Coipel type school of artists that you see, where he has like a pretty hyper realistic but still simplified art style that has he plays around with color a lot more than I think a lot of other like pencilers, inkers. He has that looseness to his work, which I think is really funny. Anyway, we talked shop a lot, which was really cool. So I've been doing these cons and that's been really great, but that's also taken up a lot of my time because when I'm not doing these conventions, I'm working on a secret project that is going to be announced, I think, like tomorrow, maybe? I don't know about that for sure, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow they're dropping the news officially. To know what the fuck I'm talking about, go follow Tornado Conceptions on Instagram. That's all I'm gonna say, especially because I'm working on something to help promote it right now that the editors don't know about, that I think they'll be very excited about. It's gonna be a super secret special surprise for them. But I'm working on a comic that I can't really describe too much about. I did work on it in a live stream on this channel, so if you want to get like a little bit spoiled, you can go hang out in there and like go to the live tab and just like watch some of the VOD or whatever. But yeah, I've been working on that, so that's also taken up a lot of my time. Been hanging out with my art friends kind of vibes. I've been crocheting a lot. I was at the thrift store one day and I found crochet thread for the first time, and so I was like, oh my god, because I had been seeing a lot of like crochet lace projects around recently, and I was like, I kind of want to try that. I couldn't find crochet lace that was like in my price range, and I went to the thrift store and I found some that was like dirt cheap for a shit ton, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bag this. So I've been working on crochet lace. I'm working on like a cute little top, like a little tank top situation. Let me show it to you better. Let me put my proverbial mic down. My not mic. Oh, she's a little creased because she's been sitting in like a pile. But I drafted the design myself. It's like this cute little like bow top. Actually, I have to make the side panels, and I'm working on the back panel currently. But she's so cute, right? Like, I've never done filet crochets, technically what this is. I've never done that before, so I was really excited to try that. So I've been trying more like lighter, smaller weight yarns. I'm also currently working on the Lacy Dream cardigan. Oh, I forget who the artist is. Put it up on screen. But I'm working on that pattern as well. She's gonna be in fine sport weight mercerized cotton. It's either 100% or mercerized cotton, but I believe it's mercerized cotton, and like kind of like an off-white beigey color. It's gonna be so cute. I also kind of fucked up the pattern because you're supposed to double crochet in the back loop on one of the rows, and I didn't read that it was supposed to be in the back loop only, and so it's like a little bit flatter in the back. I'm just gonna finish the back panel and like let it be fucked up, and then the front panels and the sleeves and the ruffles I will actually do in the back loop only, but that's on me. It's okay, I don't really care. It's the back, no one's paying attention, it's fine. But yeah, the other thing to catch up with me lately, I'm broke, and that's because I'm spending money on indie comics / buying my friends' comics / finding comics I want to look at that are pretty, that are like basically like mini art books. Like that's, I know a lot of artists will buy like art books. They're like, oh, I'm running out of inspiration, I need to look at my art books. My art books are single issue comics / comics that are out of print, that don't have artist editions, because I know my ass cannot afford an artist edition. I don't have $400. Do you have $400? I don't have $400. Like, I don't have any artist editions, so my next best thing is basically finding old prints or old comics that I really like by artists that I like that are really hard to find now unless you have like a Pinterest, and I don't want to look through a fucking Pinterest for one image of some artist that I really like. So we're gonna do like a rapid fire comic book haul over the last like 6 months / some indie books I'm reading right now that I think you should read too, because I will shamelessly plug my friends and collaborators as much as I do for myself. So let's go. First things first. I can't talk about shamelessly plugging my friends / collaborators without talking about my favorite zine right now, and that's Ghoul. Go read Ghoul. They have a Patreon, they have an Instagram. I believe their Instagram is ghoul.zine or ghoulzine or something to that effect. This zine is amazing. They do a different theme every month. So this theme, I think, was like independent comics. This was like the last issue for the year, so it was just like random. They have everyone's OCs on the cover. It's a wraparound. It's really cute. This was the video games edition. I loved the Sora fan art on the back. I love Ghoul. It's such a blast. One, because I know all the people who are working on it. So I like seeing all their design sensibilities. They have interviews. They also got, for those of you who are fans of, I'm gonna forget what it's called. Zone. I'm such a fake fan, guys. For those of you who know Zone, Michael Krager came back to do a few short stories in this zine. So if you are a Zone fan, you should be reading this. This was the crime issue. And they're all limited prints. I do believe the co-creators of the zine, Jesse Marsh and River, whose last name I'm forgetting right now, forever. I think they might have some spare copies on their big cartels. But for the most part, you have to get on their Patreon, or else you're not getting a copy. And I fucking love Ghoul. It's so much fun. I love all the different characters. I love seeing their work. Like, everyone has a very distinct style, and the way they tell stories is so much fun. I like seeing all the different things they come up with. The other cool thing, every month there are separate tiers. Like, you get the physical copy, and then they'll send you like a poster for each month, like a little, I don't want to rip this, I have done that before. They'll send you a poster. One of the artists will make like a cool little poster, and you get like a big size poster, and then sometimes they'll send you a little print. And they also include stickers, a lot of which are on my desk, so I can't show you. But I love Ghoul. I'm so proud of my friends. They've done such an incredible job on this zine. And I think if you're not reading it, you're fake. You're fake. Go read Ghoul. If you have $16 a month, if you have $10 a month, go read Ghoul. Don't be stupid. This is gonna be odd for my next comic haul. I found this out of Savers. I didn't even know Savers had comics. It's actually the same thrifting trip where I found the crochet thread. So that's something. So I have a friend, Chazzy, Marble89 on Instagram, who talks about like old furry comics sometimes. And they're like, yeah, man, these people are kind of underrated. And so I was like, oh shit, like maybe I should get into this. Not get into it, but like I was curious to see, you know? And so I found this. Martin Wagner's Hep Cats? H-E-P Cats? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. This comic is insane. Just there's like a little like writer / artist letter, and let me just read the title. The headline is, "I've got a great reason for being late this time, kids." This is the first sentence. "My marriage to Tiff dissolved this summer, ending a 2-year situation which I suppose was doomed not to work out anyway. In case you hadn't guessed, this event has contributed somewhat to the slight delay in this issue. Tiffany and I, despite whatever feelings we had going into the thing, proved far too different from one another, particularly in our personal values," which is probably the understatement of the 90s. If I don't feel like going into it any further. "Ever to be compatible. So we're separated now and will be legally divorced on October 1st. We hope she finds whatever it is that'll bring her whatever she calls happiness." So that was rough, to say the least. There's also a dedication to Carol Kalish, who I guess passed away at the time of the publishing for this. Look, man, I'm not a furry, but like the art in this goes really hard. Like, there's a crowd scene in here somewhere. I could be wrong. Here, this is a pretty good page. Like, that's pretty fire. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm fucking with this pretty hard. I don't know if you can see that super well. But, like, there are very fine lines. Like, he goes crazy with his hatching. Like, this panel alone, all the hatching on that hand. Like, are you kidding me? It's a lot of time. There's also letters in the back of these, which is also one of the reasons I love collecting old comics, is because I love reading the letters in the back. I guess this guy lives in Austin or lived, at the time of publishing, in Austin, because that's where all the letters are addressed to. But there are people from Fresno, there are people from Canoga Park, Elmont, New York, Seattle, like there's a lot. So whether or not this is truly a furry comic or not, I don't know. I mean, all the animals are like anthropomorphic, or all the characters are anthropomorphic animal character types. So I'm gonna count it as a furry comic. Early furry comics. It kind of fucks. I don't know what issue this is. It's number 8. I lied. It's on the cover. Number 8. I knew that. I'm just being stupid. Check out this dude's work. It's pretty cool. Also, it was $2.25 at the time of publishing. I paid like 50 cents for this. Savers committed the cardinal sin of putting a fucking sticker right on the cover, like right smack dab in the middle of the cover. And it was like one of the really like shitty, you can see where it was because it left fucking residue right on the cover. Don't do that. Please, don't do that. Like, just sticky note, price, I don't know, something, but like, it's right on the cover. It drove me nuts. Okay, anyway. More comics. Next we have Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan. Joe Kubert edition. I went to the Kubert school. I admire Joe Kubert's art. I think it's fire. I think he fucked so hard. He was so when I saw this, and this thing is in good condition, and I paid, shoot, I don't know, like $1 or $2 for this. I was like, it's mine. So yeah, this is great for art reference, purely for art reference. I give no fucks about Tarzan. I think Tarzan as a character is actually kind of problematic, but I like Joe Kubert's work, and so alas, I own a copy of Tarzan now. Here's another indie comic / zine / artist y'all should follow, who's also a friend of mine, and I will shamelessly plug, because I'm annoying. This is by Usam. Yeah, I'm gonna keep making that joke. Get over it. This is by my friend Usam, and this is the Self Anthology. It's a collection of their work from, I believe, because I met them when I was at another art school, which I will not name because I do not want to give them press. It's a wraparound cover. Pretty fire. So Usam is like an incredible artist. If y'all do not know their work now, you should know their work. I don't know how many zines Usam has of these left. I paid $16 for this. Well worth it. Usam also, I have a little original character who's like an egg. It's like the only OC I have. It's like a shitty little thing I made up for a project at school like 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever. He's like a self-insert representation, basically. Oh, here it is. And Usam drew my silly guy, my egg guy, on the cover of this, and they gave me a little thank you note as well. Who is this? Oh, I think this is also one of my OCs, my only other OC. They did a silly comic on the back. They're like, this drawing looks like ass. It does not look like ass. I really like it a lot, actually. It looks just like my character. So we love Usam in this house, and y'all should, I really hope I didn't flash my address, but I really hope y'all check it out. Definitely DM Usam on Instagram. Their account is, I'll put it up here. They have 2 accounts, Plume, and Sergeant Alfox. If they have any extra copies, I'm 100% willing, guarantee it'll be good. This next one, I regret not getting the other comic in this run that I saw in the box so badly. Like, I look back on this moment and I regret it so bad, but I was just gagged by actually finding this anywhere. I was like, oh my god, I need to have this. So, one of my favorite artists is this guy, Bill Sienkiewicz, whom I'm sure many of you know, whose work I'm so completely obsessed with. If I could paint like Bill Sienkiewicz, I would do it. I would sell my soul to paint like Bill Sienkiewicz. There's no question about that. And his claim to fame, before doing things like Elektra Assassin and all that stuff, was actually doing a run on the New Mutants, because he used to have like a very like in-house style. Like, he did Moon Knight, that was still kind of like Marvel's like house style, and then he did New Mutants, and that was when he went like off the fucking rails. I have it. At least one of the issues he worked on. Look at that cover. The glare is terrible. Are you joking? Like, this, it's beautiful and it's mine. I've looked through it. It's so much fun. There were a few other issues. Some of them were duplicates of this. I so regret not getting them. I was running low on cash and I was like, maybe not. I should have gotten it. Mistakes were made. Here's another epic one. This is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Where is it? Steranko. So Jim Steranko's Nick Fury. I love Steranko's artwork. I liked how in this like era he was always doing a lot of like really cool graphic shapes to tell stories. It's like one of my favorite things about his art, and that's something that I want to incorporate more into my work. I'm not very good at it. I'm trying, I swear. I'm not good at it though. We can't all be Jim Steranko. Like, it's just kind of facts. But yes, I own this now. Very swag, very cool. I'm very happy that I have this. Next one. Savage Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. So it's not that I don't care for Savage Dragon. I just haven't read any of it. I love Eric Larson's artwork. I do. His art is fire. I'm mostly here for the turtles. And also, I've never seen a physical copy of this crossover. The other crossover that they did there are like 2 other indie crossovers that they did in the 90s that I really want to own. This was one of them. One of like 3. There's one other one that I fucking can't remember what it was called. And then there was the Flaming Carrots one. I really want the Flaming Carrots one. I don't know when I'm gonna get my hands on that, if ever. But I'm really happy that I have the Savage Dragon one now. Then I got Spawn #1. Again, I'm not the biggest Spawn fan, but you cannot deny that Todd McFarlane's early work goes crazy hard. And so just leafing through, I was like, oh my god, he's so good. So I'm glad that I got this. Even though I'm like, I don't care to collect the rest of the story, just to have like access to like decent prints of his work is really nice. Then there's Tales of the Witchblade issue 0 or 1.5 or 1 out of 4 or some shit like that. I don't know story-wise like where this is supposed to land, but again, this is like, I like the art style, that 90s super detailed kind of weird airbrushed work. I like looking at it. I think it's kind of silly and fun. Here, let me show you what the interiors look like. But I saw this and I was like, should I get it? But then I got it. And let me see exactly who did the artwork for this. Also, there's like a certificate of authenticity in here. Signed. Don't know why. It's in there. Pencils are done by Nathan Cabrera. They're pretty fucking good, man. I can't lie. I'm trying to find a good page because you have some of the old ads in here, which are pretty funny. Like, it's a lot of ads. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, that's cool. I like the like super extra detail, and I don't hate the coloring style. I mean, I know a lot of people, that's a controversial take. I don't hate the colors in this book. I think they're cool. Also, they have process stuff for the cover, which I really like. So this was worth it, even if it wasn't like as cool of a find as like the Spawn or the Jim Stranko, or not even close. Like, objectively, the Bill Sienkiewicz was the coolest thing that I found that day. I hate putting these back in the bag and boards because of the tape. It gets like stuck on shit and it freaks me out. Okay. Last comic. Okay, it's called Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, and this is, oh god, Greg Dugan? Doug, I forget his first name. Mr. Dugan, we're just gonna refer to him as that. I got this when I was tabling at Dallas Fan Expo with Essential Sequential, because Mr. Dugan himself came up to us. I didn't know what he looked like. Like, I know he worked on X-Men, and that's really cool. He's a good writer anyway, so I was like, he just kind of walked, because look, a bunch of those guys get approached by random people who are like, oh, I have your comp copies, and it could be an editor, it could be a writer, it could be damn near anybody, somebody who works at whatever publishing house the book belongs to. Like, there's a number of people that approach them throughout the day who are like, here are your comp copies, I thought now was a good time for you to have them. So this is Image, but it is an indie book, published by Image. Dugan wrote this, and this is Klaus's variant cover that he did. I am at this con, like, aside from the fact that he was like a guest there or whatever, like, there was quite a bit of buzz about this book. Klaus was really funny. He gave this to me, and he gave us the entire stack of comps for free. I don't remember what we did with them. I think we like left them, like, me and my boyfriend and Tori, we all like took a copy and then we like left it on the table for people to grab after the con was over. He didn't want them. He's like, what the fuck am I gonna do with them? So he's like, you guys can have them, knock yourselves out. But everyone's been saying incredible things about this book. I really want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I'm really excited to crack this one open. And there's one more comic. There's one more. I'm sorry, this video has dragged on for so long because I can't stop yapping about comics. But the last book, I don't have the physical copy yet. You should get a physical copy. Go to Mr. Croissant Art on Instagram and get y'all a copy. Mine is still coming in the mail. But Sebastian, my friend, released his first issue of his comic. It's called Super Ego. It's really good. If y'all, it's like, I don't want to say the plot because it's very like spoiler heavy. Like, it gets really intense really fast. Not like so fast that it's like the pacing is bad. I just mean like every little thing matters, you know, like he's put a lot of time and effort into writing this to be like a compelling story from the jump. So I don't want to tell you, I'll just give you the vibes. It has a superhero element to it, but it's not where it's not like where a lot of people do superhero stories and they're like basically like they just want to be the next Superman or whatever. It's like superhero noir conspiracy mystery sci-fi vibes, and it really focuses on like maybe less on the superhero aspect and more on like the sci-fi conspiracy aspect of the story. I think it's really cool. Sebastian's art's fucking crazy. He actually is in the Ghoul Zines. His like claim to fame right now is the short story he did in the Halloween edition of Ghoul, which was called The Sphincter, which everybody loves. Understandably so. He went crazy with those, like, that story was so good. But yeah, that's like his claim to fame right now. And now his indie comic is out, and I'm so excited for him. He's also going to be featured in my friend Chazzy's Clarence zine. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soon. But yeah, so yeah, those are all the comics I'm reading / have recently purchased for art reference purposes / enjoyment of the artwork that I think y'all should check out, especially any of the indies / my friends' comics that are really good, and they're so talented, and I'm so lucky to be friends with them and have collaborated with them and probably will collaborate with them in the future because they're so good. So yeah, that's what's new with me. Hopefully the next video will be out soon. I'm gonna refilm this week. I've been putting it off because I had so much shit going on, but I'm gonna do it this week because I have things to do that I can't talk about until tomorrow. But for now, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching my frenzied little comic haul / catch up with my life video. I will see you next time, hopefully. Bye.